Hello and welcome to Shift Happens, where I share something that has shifted within me in order to help shift your parenting perspective in 5 minutes or less. If you like what you hear, please make sure you subscribe so we can make shift happen together every single week. All right, this one comes from the book REWIRE by Nicole Vignola. She says that positive reinforcement is the most effective way to make change. Why is this? Because it actually lights up the reward center in the brain, helping us to solidify the positive new behavior. Isn't that fascinating? Okay, so why do I like this? Because oftentimes we believe that we need to correct the unwanted behavior, constantly correcting the unwanted behavior through coercive measures, pain, punishments, threats, bribes, all of these things in order to get our children to do other things in order for us to feel more comfortable, right? Instead of constantly focusing on the negative, which is all wired with shame, which is all wired with, feeling like a bad child, all of that stuff. Instead, if we see them doing a good thing and we say, I noticed that. That is incredible. And we positively reinforce the behavior that we want to see change. Two other things that I really want to make sure I highlight when we're talking about how to create change in the brain. Number one, our children do not have the ability, the mental, the cognitive ability to separate themselves from the behavior. So if we have our child here, we have our child's behavior here. If we are constantly telling them that they are wrong and bad for the behavior that they're doing, they are going to eventually see themselves as their behavior. Our job is to separate the way we see our child and the behavior. We can talk about the behavior, but it is not who our child is, right? Okay, the other thing, it is very challenging for the brain to create a new neural pathway. It takes a tremendous amount of energy to create a new neural pathway, especially if we're stressed, if we are dysregulated, if we are, in our fight or flight. Our brain isn't going to give the necessary energy, the necessary output to create a new neural pathway. It is going to default, because it's going to use all that other energy for protection and safety. It's going to default back to old patterns, the ones that aren't serving us. The exact same thing is true for our children. When they are stressed, when they are dysregulated, when they're hangry, all of those things, they are going to revert back to behavior. Remember, behavior and child, they're separate. They're going to revert back to behavior that is already hardwired in their brain. Right? So we need, as the parent, to be able to separate in our brains, okay, this moment they're just dysregulated. I don't need to be correcting the moment right now. I'm going to not be focusing on the behavior right now. Right now, I'm going to try to get them back into regulation. Right now, I'm going to focus on getting myself back into regulation so that we can start to build on the skills, so that we can start to focus outside of the heat of the moment on what we are trying to change. Because when we are positively focusing on the change, it is better for our brain. When we are positively reinforcing the change happens. When we are stuck in the negative cycles, when we are stuck in the correction, when we are stuck in focus on our child's behavior is my child and I need to change my child, the loops are still going to happen and our brain is going to default into old, unhealthy, not supportive coping strategies that just try to make us feel good in the moment. Okay. Hope that was good. Hope that was fun. Hope that helped. See you next week.